Hello and welcome back. I'm Deirdre and this is episode 17 of the whole process of moving into a smaller apartment having lived in a big family home. I was going to say downsizing, but I've decided to stop using that word because I don't feel like my life's been downsized. I think it's been upsized by the process, with the exception of the last week when I have been struggling with the most dreadful cold. Flu, cold, I don't know which, but I don't get them very often, but boy, I've really got this one. Hence, I look. Anyway, I did take myself out today because it was an astonishingly beautiful day and it was a day off, so I thought, right, I will go out and go to a garden shop and start looking at plants. When I went through, I looked at lots of plants. I told you about a lot of them, and there's no audio. So now I have to sit down, and in order to get this out, I have to decide whether or not I'm going to audio over the top. Or will I simply go back on Saturday and do it all again? And I really can't decide. I'm going to try. So if this comes out, then it's worked. And if not, it hasn't. Simple as that. But it's a nice process anyway, and it was a beautiful day. See, excuse me. I really am not very well. It was a great week actually. My kids came for dinner on the Monday because of one of their birthdays, and it was lovely. Nice to see that everybody fits perfectly well into the smaller place, which is good. And I became a fur grandmother, which is also rather nice because we've been a bit missing out on pets recently. Of course, it made me terribly pet clucky, and now I'm looking at West Highland Terriers and thinking I really do need a dog. The whole garden shop process was rather lovely because it was such a nice day, but I just felt progressively worse and worse. And honestly, when I got home and saw that there was no audio on it, that was just the icing on the cake, I'm afraid. So because of that, I'm even just sitting down. I'm just terrible. But it was a good process. Made me think hard about the sorts of plants that I want out there. I want far too many, of course. Isn't that the way? And but I can start to see it now. And once I can see a garden, I'm fine. Same as a house. Once I get it into my head, I can make it happen. Oh, I'm going to do a voiceover. Is that the right word for this croak? Anyway, I'm going to do a bit of a chat about these plants and then I'll come back to you and see if I've managed it. And here I am at Beasley's nursery, which I've been going to for years. They have a lovely tea rooms. That's the tea rooms and very nice lunches. And it's in the trees. It's in a suburb called Templestowe, and they always have beautiful quality plants. And this is a good example of it. It's a Pieris. It is absolutely beautiful in spring, and it just doesn't get any better than that, does it? The white one I think is technically Temple Bells. Yes, there we go. That one is the Temple Bells, but the pink one is incredibly beautiful. And they have screens because everybody needs kangaroos and zebras grazing in their gardens. I just thought I'd show you what a stunningly beautiful tomorrow is spring day it was. All that blue sky. I couldn't help it. I went into the shade garden and started looking at some of the vines, and I saw the Chinese star jasmine and lots of grasses that I could potentially use. But these tend to be more the ones that I would use outside on my entrance area. And there is the clivia, the creamy yellow clivia, and I have one and it is currently boarding at a friend's house, so I must go and get that back. It's the butter yellow. It's quite beautiful. Then I walked down a bit further, and they always have gorgeous camellias here. That's Brushfield's yellow, and I think I show you another one later on. There's a beautiful version of it. You see? Fabulous. Well worth it. I had it in my house in Sydney, and it's just a gorgeous camellia. So that was a treat, but I won't maybe I'll have one camellia outside in my entrance area if I can grow it tall and narrow. And that is Magnolia stellata, and they are one of my favourite plants. For, just beautiful, delicate, and so pretty. Then I started getting real, and this is Astasis or Limonia, I think it's called, and they're tough, really good seaside plants, along with seaside daisies at the back there, and lots of good tough plants that will weather the worst of the heat without curling up. I'll still have to protect them and water them, but I'm very aware heat's going to be an issue. These are another good plant for the hot, dry conditions. It's the convolvulus. They're called silvery moon now, but it's just a normal convolvulus. And like the convolvulus, the lamb's ears have a really beautiful soft grey leaf that is great in the heat, as is the sage, or any of the salvias as they're called. Lots of colours, lots of durability in the hot, dry weather. Same as the limonias, the stasis, and of course lavender. Now you know I'm walking through the Australian section when you suddenly realise that there's a statue of a kangaroo sitting in the middle of the plants. But don't worry, because right beside it, just over here, was a very elegant lady. Now I've moved on to another plant shop that has always been a bit of a favourite. They have a huge range and often a lot of discount plants. So in this case I found the olives that I would want. They're only $10 each and they're very strong and upright. I have a thing about wanting to spiralize them around, say, a stick. And there you go. You can see what a gorgeous day it is. And this too is tucked under the gum trees. The rhododendrons are coming out wanting to flower. The camellias are looking astonishing at this time of the year. I really don't have space for them. Well, maybe one, as I say, only one. But they're lovely. And the hellebores. And I've got an idea about hanging the hellebores in some of those wall garden pots so that you get to see what you can normally only see when you're looking up and under them. I rather like the idea of them tucked onto the shady wall of my entranceway. That would work quite well, I think. So more of the camellias, some tree ferns, gorgeous camellias through here, and such good prices, I must admit. Now, up into the top sunny part. This is called thrift or pinks, and they're lovely. I'll use those. This is buddleia, and that's the small one. See, the dark one is the big one, and the small pale one beside it is up only to a metre. So I think that's a good idea. I love the ciscus, the rock rose. They're intensely coloured. They're quite lovely. And that was a quick tour around a couple of my local plant shops, and they're beautiful, and I hope you enjoyed it. I sound like a frog. But apart from that, I have looked at the plants that I've seen and I've talked about some of them, and it's been a good process simply because I need to do that before I buy anyway, and it certainly has opened up some ideas for me. I'm looking forward to getting out on that balcony. Now that spring will be here tomorrow, 1st of September, so I'm really looking forward to that. I'm just sitting here looking at it and making it into a lovely place to sit in the evening. And I hope that you have, got some ideas or confirmed that you really don't like some of my ideas. It's always interesting. I think, I get lots of lovely thumbs up from you, but every now and again I get a thumbs down, and I think, well, if you're going to give me a thumbs down, tell me what it is that you really don't like, other than my face or, don't get mean. But if it's a particular query, have I got something really wrong? I'd like to know. It'd be interesting anyway. So I will be back with episode 18. And until then, I hope that if you would like to see more, and hopefully without the croaky voice, that you would subscribe. There's a playlist of things I've done earlier, and I'll see you soon. So I hope that whatever you're doing, you're having a lovely day. Take care. Bye.